to become a recording artist. Nasio financed his first recording, produced, financed, promoted, and distributed it himself. Our focus today on Did You Know? Nasio Fontaine, made possible compliments of the good folks of Quartz, Dominica Limited. Up next, we'll bring you the DBS Major Morning News.
DBS News. Fresh in the morning. Eye-opening and balanced. The DBS Morning News starts right now.
This morning's headlines: Finance Minister Dr. Irvin McIntyre says government is moving to implement the measures contained in the 2025-2026 national budget. Barbados and India have signed a major agreement to build a modern coconut processing plant in Barbados, and the United States and China have extended a trade truce to avoid a tariffs hike. Well, good morning, I'm Gavin Richards with the DBS Major Morning News. The details right after this.
Need one trusted place to stock up for your home, shop, or business? Fine Foods Inc. Distribution has got you covered. From dry goods and frozen foods to your favorite drinks, alcoholic and non-alcoholic, plus all the household must-have. We've got it all under one roof. We're right here in Jimmy Dominica. And yes, we deliver fast. Whether you're running a supermarket, a corner shop, a bar, or just like your pantry full and happy, Fine Foods Inc. brings you the best brands you know and love. Great prices, top-tier service, trusted products. Call us at 255-6810 or 316-0164 or drop by our Jimmy location to check out what's in store. Fine Foods Inc.
Fine Foods Inc. The biggest distributor for the biggest brand.
Since 1910, HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited has proudly served Dominica, offering a wide variety of products and services in shipping, logistics, insurance, travel, retail, and wholesale. We are committed to serve you. Contact us today at 767-255-1100 or visit us at our main office on Old Street, Roseau. From humble beginnings to proud achievements, HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited.
Petro Caribe. Tank installation is part of our mission. Excellent client support is what we got. Contribution to development of Dominica. Supply of LPG at an affordable rate. Let's go. Petro Caribe straight. No time to waste. So come on everyone with me to Petro Caribe. 250 gallon propane tank. 420 pound propane tank. 100 pound LPG cylinder. Petro Caribe. 20 pound fiberglass cylinder. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe.
DBS News.
Welcome back. First up in the news this morning, Finance Minister Dr. Irvin McIntyre says government is moving to implement the measures contained in the 2025-2026 national budget. The budget includes a reduction in the cost of several goods to make it easier for Dominican consumers. Dr. McIntyre says he's optimistic the Dominican public will realize benefits from the 2025-2026 budget.
As regards to the land measure for young people, as regards to the vehicles, so we can get newer vehicles in the country, and quite a few other different measures that we put into it. Some of them will take effect from 1st of October. So for instance, the one related to us encouraging newer vehicles, some people might have little issues in terms of the date, and the truth is we may not be able to please everybody, but consultations continue. And some of them we will keep to the dates that we put up 1st October. Some might come in a little later, some is in September. But nonetheless, they will all happen, which is the most important thing. They will all happen. And if at all we have to adjust any little date, that can be done, and we'll do it. We're a pragmatic government. We listen to the people and we make changes accordingly, but the changes are always in the benefit of the masses. Remember, we have also the measures in terms of persons getting loan at the aid bank, which are always available at 2% concessionary. We also have in terms of the students and the scholarships available for them. But there are so many different of these measures that will come into place before the end of the year. Some of them within a month, some of them within 2 months, but nonetheless, they're all for the benefit of everyone involved. As a matter of fact, we had some consultation just last week again, and we're discussing in detail so that when we come up with something, everyone benefits. So we're looking at everything.
Finance Minister Dr. Irvin McIntyre. Attorney General Levi Peter is advocating for Dominica's firearm-related laws to be strengthened. Well, his statement came following the funeral service of 32-year-old Jaiv Alex Bruno, who was gunned down last month. Well, Mr. Peter says government has been proactive in dealing with firearm-related offences.
But as you know, the government announced an amnesty recently, and a few firearms were handed in. You also would be aware that the government a few years ago actually repealed the then existing Firearms Act and brought in a new Firearms Act with much more severe penalties. And government's intention then, as it made clear in Parliament and elsewhere, was that the penalties for possession and use of firearms should be much more stringent. It seems, and I think the government's position, and I'm not speaking with authority on the government's position, but I personally support and will seek to persuade that the government needs to look at increasing even further the legislative framework governing firearms, their possession and use, and of course increasing the penalties and ensuring that they're enforced, because I think also one of the things that I said, and I think I said in Parliament, my last contribution, is that the courts need to impose the penalties that are provided for in the legislation with more vigor. People need to understand that possession of firearms is a serious matter, and use of those firearms are even more serious.
Attorney General Levi Peter. The Attorney General says Dominican communities must also join the efforts to rid the streets of illegal firearms.
But I think alongside that, there needs to be a holistic approach that the community needs to get involved. This is not a government issue, it's not a Labour Party issue or Freedom Party or United Workers Party or whatever party or whatever religion. This is something that affects all of us. As we can see from this particular very tragic event, this is an innocent person who found himself caught up. And this is what could happen to any one of us, or children, or family members. We need as a society to recognize that firearms are a scourge on society, and we need to find a mechanism, and I shall myself be speaking about it, certainly within government circles and with others, that there needs to be a move that the various elements in society, remove the politics from it, remove religion, but just as members of society, we all want to live in a safe society, and we need to find ways of coming together and going in the various communities, speaking to the people who are involved in this, and finding a way to communicate with them the seriousness and the damage that they are doing to the society and of course to individuals. You see the grief within this particular family, but that is something that obviously radiates and affects all of us, and we need to do more. And it's not just the law is there, it's one element, but I actually believe that the greater element is the societal element, where people in the society, ordinary people, you, me, everybody else, sits down in our communities, in our villages, and gets across to the idea we will not tolerate this danger, this scourge on our society.
Attorney General Levi Peter. Meantime, Pastor Griffin Daniel, who delivered the homily at the funeral service of the late Jaiv Alex Bruno on Monday, issued a call for Dominicans to participate in the 1-month gun amnesty program that began on the 16th of July.
For those of us who live in this country, the government has placed something very important, that those with firearms must bring it in. But some are not doing it. Let me just take this opportunity to ask you, those who know someone or you know yourself, bring it back. When you have something, even if you say you will not use it, sometime or the other, it will just propel you to use it. And the more you can stay away from things that can propel you to do things that are not right, the best thing to do is get rid of it. And as a result of somebody not obeying, we are here today to put the remains of this young man, handsome dude, putting him to rest. It is something Jive never saw coming. And if Jive had seen it coming, he would not go to work.
And that was Pastor Griffin Daniel. Chief Youth Development Officer Marita Hyacinth wants Dominicans to celebrate more vigorously the success stories of the youth. Her call as Dominica observes International Day of the Youth today. Ms. Hyacinth says Dominica will mark the occasion with a week of activities.
On August 12th is International Youth Day, and we expect the address from the Minister of Youth and from our youth officers, basically celebrating youth achievement and potential. On August 13th, we have the online youth messaging campaign from various stakeholders. And on that day, we'll have the opening and blessing of the Marigot Youth Center and a talent night in Marigot. August 14th, the digital summer camp and coding graduation. And at that graduation, we are going to be featuring the public launch of a literacy game that was developed by the students that was part of the coding camp. And August 15th, we have the Summer Camp Volunteers Appreciation Day, where all the young volunteers that we had during the summer day camp, we will be honoring them. So we call on families, communities, organization and the nation at large to stand for youth, for young people, not only during this week of celebrations, but throughout the year. And let us give them the tools, the encouragement, and the space to lead. Too often we are quick to share the negative and sensational stories about our youth, but let us share their success, their innovation, and their positive impact that with the same energy and commitment. So when you...
And that was the Chief Youth Development Officer, Marita Hyacinth. The Dominica Public Service Union will meet with its members later today to discuss the ongoing salary negotiations with government. Later, that's the Secretary General of the Dominica Public Service Union, Thomas Litter, says, however, there's been an improvement in the non-salary matters being discussed with government.
Since our last meeting with our members, we wrote to the government and we met last week. There has been some improvement in some of the things that we were requesting or some of the things that we are negotiating for. So we have seen some improvements in those areas, especially the non-salary issues compared to what they were the last time. So we are hoping to have a discussion with the members and to see exactly what will happen from there. We are hoping that the meeting be a positive one and that following the meeting that the members will decide. But we look forward, we'll discuss the improvements, we'll go over the entire package with the employees, we'll also speak to whatever other benefits we believe that public officers will gain during the triennial. Or this current triennial. We have already started to think of things that will be, when we get to the negotiating table for the next triennial, which is not there yet, that we will come up with some new ideas. But we just have to wait and present to the members.
General Secretary of the Public Service Union, Thomas Litter. HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited says discussions are ongoing with the Dominica Amalgamated Workers Union, DAW, regarding the collective labor agreement. Recently, General Secretary of the Dominica Amalgamated Workers Union, Leah Shillingford, spoke out regarding the non-payment of back pay and other benefits as outlined in the collective labor agreement. In a press release, Whitchurch says it acknowledges the statement that was made and wishes to clarify that the company has maintained a professional yet cordial engagement with the union spanning many decades and have always operated within the confines of the laws of Dominica. The release from Whitchurch said that it considers the issues raised by the union as internal matters and regrets that rather than continue further discourse, the union's Secretary General would resort to taking it to the media. Well, Richard says it remains committed to its obligations in a transparent process and relies on accountability and honesty in the period leading to the conclusion of this matter. Well, let's head into news from the region this morning as Barbados and India have signed a major agreement to build a modern coconut processing plant in Barbados. The project is part of Barbados' plan to re-industrialize and expand its agro-processing sector. Export Barbados CEO Mark Hill said the investment will use Indian technology and create full value chains for coconut products. He thanked India for its support and hinted at more partnerships ahead. The Indian High Commissioner Subhash P. Gupta said the plant will be the first of its kind in Barbados, producing coconut water, pulp and other products. The plant will also explore biogas production from coconut waste, supporting Barbados' green agenda, and it is expected to create jobs, help small businesses, cut waste, and boost exports. And on the international scene, the United States and China have extended their trade truce for another 90 days, just hours before the world's two biggest economies were set to hike tariffs on each other. Yesterday, the U.S. President Donald Trump signed an executive order to continue the truce until the 10th of November, while Beijing will also announce it will be extending its tariffs pause. It means that the United States will hold its levy on Chinese imports at 30%, while China will keep a 10% tariff on American goods. Washington had threatened tariffs as high as 145% on Chinese goods earlier this year, with Beijing hitting back with 125% duties on U.S. shipments. Well, that's the news. A quick recap of the headlines. Finance Minister Dr. Irvin McIntyre says government is moving to implement the measures contained in the 2025-2026 national budget. Barbados and India have signed a major agreement to build a modern coconut processing plant in Barbados. And the United States and China have extended their trade truce to avoid a tariffs hike. That's the news. Stay tuned for sports.
Need one trusted place to stock up for your home, shop, or business? Fine Foods Inc. Distribution has got you covered. From dry goods and frozen foods to your favorite drinks, alcoholic and non-alcoholic, plus all the household must-have. We've got it all under one roof. We're right here in Jimmy Dominica. And yes, we deliver fast. Whether you're running a supermarket, a corner shop, a bar, or just like your pantry full and happy, Fine Foods Inc. brings you the best brands you know and love. Great prices, top-tier service, trusted products. Call us at 255-6810 or 316-0164 or drop by our Jimmy location to check out what's in store. Fine Foods Inc.
Fine Foods Inc. The biggest distributor for the biggest brand.
Since 1910, HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited has proudly served Dominica, offering a wide variety of products and services in shipping, logistics, insurance, travel, retail, and wholesale. We are committed to serve you. Contact us today at 767-255-1100 or visit us at our main office on Old Street, Roseau. From humble beginnings to proud achievements, HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited.
Petro Caribe. Tank installation is part of our mission. Excellent client support is what we got. Contribution to development of Dominica. Supply of LPG at an affordable rate. Let's go. Petro Caribe straight. No time to waste. So come on everyone with me to Petro Caribe. 250 gallon propane tank. 420 pound propane tank. 100 pound LPG cylinder. Petro Caribe. 20 pound fiberglass cylinder. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe.
Covering the nation and beyond. DBS Sports Report.
Me. Here's my ID.
Just Mobank Me. It's that easy.
The faster, easier way to bank.
NBD makes it easy to bank online, anywhere, at any time with more banking. The faster, easier way to bank.
The faster, easier way.
So transfer funds on Mobanking.
The faster, easier way.
To pay your bills with more banking.
The faster, easier way.
So order checks on Mobanking.
The faster, easier
Pay employees on more banking.
The faster, easier way to bank.
Plus, you can now top up your phone on more banking.
Top me up.
No need for cash or card. Simply log into more banking to top up your phone. Visit nbdominica.com or follow us on Facebook and Instagram for more details.
The faster, easier way to bank.
NBD.
Your partner, your bank.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fence pipe. And Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins and bidets. PVC piping, fittings and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Welcome to the morning sports. Let's bowl off with cricket news as the West Indies batsman Ruston Chase says the side is excited with the possibility of beating Pakistan in an ODI series at home for the first time since 1988. Well, this has the West Indies heading to the third and final ODI with Pakistan this morning in Trinidad. The three-match series is leveled at a game apiece following the West Indies win in the second T20 on Sunday. The third and final match gets underway from 9:30 this morning.
Yes, it's a big motivation. I mean, we get a lot of licks lately from the Republic because we've not been in a good vein of form. So for us to come and beat them here, to give the fans a bit of a relief, a bit of joy, and then also not winning from in the 90s, that would be a big achievement for us as well.
And that's the West Indies batsman Ruston Chase. So the third and final ODI gets underway from 9:30 this morning. Also getting underway this morning is the Cricket West Indies Under-17 tournament, which also bowls off in Trinidad this morning. The Windward Islands, they will be taking on Guyana. Trinidad and Tobago will play Barbados. And, of course, the Leewards will take on Jamaica. The Windward Islands Under-17 team is being captained by Theo Edward. Unfortunately, there are no Dominicans on that team. Let's move on with some more sporting news as the president of the Dominica Olympic Committee, Billy Doctrove, is calling on the various sporting associations to play their part in the support of youth athletes. His comments ahead of Dominica's participation at the 2025 Pan Am Junior Games in Paraguay. Doctrove says that success can only be achieved through adequate preparation.
Well, every step that you make, you have to basically step on the first rung of the ladder. And this is the first rung of the ladder to many of our athletes. And we believe that a gold medal winner does not drop from the sky or come automatically. We believe it's something that has to show progression, preparation has to be key, and we encourage all our affiliates to make more emphasis on preparation, because we believe that with adequate preparation that you can go on to greater things. So we like to start and we like to support our athletes in the early stages of their development, of their careers, because we believe that when they show progression, then they can go on to greater things.
President of the Dominica Olympic Committee, Billy Doctrove. Doctrove is also encouraging the private sector to support the athletes.
I've been saying since tier 1 gold medal. Many of our private sector persons have come on board to embrace her and to celebrate with her. And we are happy about that. But we are saying we cannot wait for another gold medal. We have to ensure that the environment is prepared for those persons. That's why we invest heavily in our young athletes. So we're asking our private sector to come on board early to ensure that the environment is prepared and our young athletes have a pathway to further excellence.
President of the Dominica Olympic Committee, Billy Doctorov. National swimmer Jasmine Schofield is hoping to set some new national records as she takes to the pool at the Pan Am Junior Games in Paraguay, where the Olympic swimmer is the national record holder in a number of events. Schofield is set to participate in the 100-meter freestyle event this morning. She says her participation at previous events has prepared her well for the Games.
My expectations going into Pan Am Juniors, I definitely want to aim for a new national record in both 100 and the 50. It might be a bit difficult because that was just achieved a couple months ago. But, I mean, I have high hopes for myself. I trust in my training and my coaches. And I think that the heats here and all the athletes will all be pushing each other. We were pushing each other in Worlds, and we're going to push each other here again. So hopefully it goes well. I've been working a lot with my coaches. We've been going really hard in the gym. I've got a lot of my strength up, but it's just technically applying it to my form and everything because I want to look good in the water and then feel strong.
And that's the national swimmer Jasmine Schofield. Well, Schofield is set to participate in the 100-meter freestyle event this morning. That race, the heats in that race starts at 8 o'clock this morning. Meantime, swimming coach Shamini Walsh-Dupie is hoping that Schofield can better her previous marks.
Preparation in terms of readiness, I think she's pretty ready. She only had 1 day in between the competition or leaving for the competition and getting here. So I think that in itself was a bit of preparation for her. But we missed the training day yesterday because of travel. But today we're going to make the most of her training. She really needs to work on her catch, and her reach, and really pull in that water. So she's going to be doing some drills today to focus on that. We're looking to see at least, an improved time. She didn't do as well as in the World Championships in terms of her personal best. She was 1 second slower in both her races, so we're hoping we can get a better time for this race. We're really hoping at least she can improve, or she can best herself, maybe by a few milliseconds, few seconds. That would be great. So that's what we're looking for. Because as I said, at Singapore, she was 1 second slower. 1 second sounds like a little bit, but in the world of sports and swimming, 1 second is a lot.
And that's this national swimming coach, Shamini Walsh-Dupie. Let's head back to cricket news as Cricket West Indies Chief Executive Officer Chris Derrin has identified facilities, skills deficiencies and the lack of proper high-performance centres as some of the major challenges impacting West Indies cricket. His comments at the conclusion of a 2-day emergency summit on cricket in Trinidad. The 2-day summit was geared at tackling West Indies cricket's performance challenges and implementing structural reforms at all levels of the game. Some of the legends, including Sir Clive Lloyd, Sir Vivian Richards, Brian Lara, Dr. Desmond Hames, and Shivnarine Chandapal, were all part of those taking part in the 2-day summit.
But we're talking about things like facilities at every level for the development of our cricketers, proper practice pitches across the region, the quality of our domestic tournament would have been highlighted. There's definitely a skills deficiency at various levels that are, really don't get highlighted until they reach international level. And then you see the glaring deficiencies vis-a-vis our international counterparts, which again is systemic because it's very difficult, as the batting coach pointed out today, it's very difficult to change habits when you're getting somebody who has made so many runs at regional level but clearly have deficiencies when it comes to the international level. It's very hard to change them in just a couple of weeks, or especially during a series. So it's a systemic issue, so we have to try and address the issues that we're facing much earlier from a technical development perspective. There are issues surrounding strength and conditioning, which again points back to potentially facilities that are available to our youngsters and our emerging players, air teams, etc. So those would be some of the highlights which would have been pointed out.
And that's Cricket West Indies Chief Executive Officer Chris Derrin. Meantime, West Indies legend Brian Lara has hailed the meeting as fruitful and is confident that the required changes will be made.
It was very productive the last couple of days. I think one of the takeaways that I will mention is the fact that it's been that case for years, where we are not on the same level playing field as other playing countries. And back in the days where skill was the prominent factor, we excel. You know, we were the best team in the world, but the game has evolved a lot. And with technology and analytics, I think we now have to see a new way of finding ourselves back to being very competitive. I said not on a level playing field because a lot of the countries are far ahead in these sort of areas, and the skill factor of the game is still there, but not as prominent as it was in the past. It's a long road. It's not something that's going to happen tomorrow. It was not about the 27 runs. If it was 57 or 107, would we be feeling any better? I don't think so. It's the fact that we've got something to address, and for us to get back on top or to be a competitive nation in world cricket, we've got to address these situations and address them shortly, quickly, and hopefully we can reap the benefit in years to come.
And that's the West Indies legend Brian Lara, taking us to the end of the DBS Morning Sports Report. Just a quick reminder, national swimmer Jasmine Schofield will be in the pool in about a half an hour's time as she participates in the Pan Am Junior Games. She's taking part in the 100-meter freestyle, and that race set to get underway at 8 o'clock. Let's wish her all the best as she goes in search of a medal in that competition. That's the morning news and sports. More news and sporting highlights for you at 11 o'clock during the morning news update. And of course, look out for the 13:15 news. Until then, I'm Gavin Richards saying good morning.
Just Mobank me. Here's my ID.
Just Mobank me. It's that easy.
The faster, easier way to bank. NBD makes it easy to bank online, anywhere, at any time with Mobanking. The faster, easier way to bank.
The faster, easier way.
So transfer funds on Mobanking.
The faster, easier way.
To pay your bills with Mobanking.
The faster, easier way.
So order checks on Mobanking.
The faster, easier
Pay employees
way.
on Mobanking.
The faster, easier way to bank.
Plus, you can now top up your phone on Mobanking.
Top me up.
No need for cash or card. Simply log into Mobanking to top up your phone. Visit nbdominica.com or follow us on Facebook and Instagram for more details.
The faster, easier way to bank.
NBD.
Your partner, your bank.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fence pipe. And Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins and bidets. PVC piping, fittings and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
DBS News. Accurate, up-to-date, professional. We bring you the news of the nation via 3 newscasts, Monday to Saturday at 7 a.m. The DBS Major Morning News, 1:15 p.m. Your lunchtime news bulletin, and at 6 in the evening, the DBS Evening News. Call us at 448-4302.